Kieran Sidhu, CEO of Halo Labs, and Katie Field, who's the Chief Strategy Officer of Halo Labs, joins us now. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Kieran, can we start with an update on all of the different projects that you've got going on around the world?
Okay. So the big focus right now is to close Buffalo in Lesotho. And there we're expecting a signing to occur within the next week to 2 weeks. So let's say by the middle of October. And then subject to exchange approval and subject to central bank approval in Lesotho, we should be closed within 4 weeks after. But the project is still carrying on. Plants are being, as we said, now the plants have gone from babies to teenagers, and inevitably they'll be ready to go in the greenhouses. And Buffalo is actually being funded by Louisa, our chairman-to-be herself. So she's writing the checks right now to fund that. And we're pretty confident that given if we get the offtakes there, that the entire project will have traditional bank financing, which is pretty unique from a major South African bank we're in discussions with, because it doesn't have the banking problems that you have in America, in Lesotho or in South Africa. Secondly, you'll be seeing some news coming out about enhancing our capabilities in Northern California. Our biggest issue right now is capacity. We're running at full capacity 7 days a week in California. And right now in harvest season, as we announced a record month in Oregon, which surprised us. And I think part of that had to do with the fact that people no longer want to buy vape cartridges and products in the black market.
Right.
They want to go to licensed producers. We're also running now 7 days a week there. We had a bumper harvest. We're expecting somewhere between 15 to 20,000 pounds off of our 6-acre site in Oregon. 7,000 we're going to be bringing into flour, which we believe will give us conservatively incremental sales of 3.5 million we weren't expecting. So things have been really busy, and you'll be seeing some announcements, hopefully coming soon, on some more positive events.
Perfect. Okay, so I want to focus for a minute on the record sales in Oregon, because that represents a pretty serious Q-on-Q growth.
Right.
And is that a trend that we're going to see continue, or is that just a specific one-off event as a result of the vape crisis?
We believe that the trend will continue because now what we're doing is also starting to sell our flour. After 3 years of growing, we're starting to grow really, really nice flour. And so there's been a demand for our flour. And I think as of today, out of 7,000 potential pounds, 2,000 have already been pre-sold with large deposits, which is helping our cash flow tremendously as well. Also, as you know, everyone's talking about this age of extinction and how every company doesn't have enough cash. What we're finding is that with the working capital line in place, as well as the incremental cash flow we're seeing from Oregon, which has gone from cash flow negative to cash flow neutral to cash flow positive, our cash flow is actually doing well, right? We're also looking to add to it in a way that is not dilutive to our shareholders. But so we're actually building cash in this time where people are scared of, losing cash, or some of them are quite frankly are just trying to survive.
How's the white labeling business going?
Good. No, it's going really well. I think we've seen that a little bit more in California. We have some sales reps in Oregon ask us about it as well, but we have so much of our own brands to produce that we don't do quite as much there. But it's actually been a strategy that we're looking at seriously because most of our sales in California have been bulk to date. So the question is, hey, what brands do customers want? And we're still in the process of, we are already have some of our own distribution, both that we do, but then also with Midas, that's one of our distributors. The question is, what are the brands that the consumers are going to want? And if we can white label them, we're very efficient. We've been in this business, we've been extractors since the very beginning in Oregon, that we actually can still make margin and be profitable doing white labeling. So that is something that we're doing. But of course, we try to be selective about the brands we work with and make sure that it's really a relationship that that's going to be mutually beneficial. So Cleva, for example. Anyway.
Do you use your white labeling strategy as a way to get your products into other states where you don't necessarily produce cannabis?
We're definitely open to that. That's something that we do. So you mean in terms of, hey, I'll go to a different state, I'll take my brands and have them produce them for us?
License your recipes. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Sure. Yes, that is something that we're doing. Absolutely. I mean, we've looked at that a little bit more in terms of helping to implement dab tabs in other markets, but our brands are open as well. Kieran, I don't know if you want to add to that. You have another
Well, I mean,
thought to add to that.
we're in discussions, and documents going back and forth with a couple of MSOs, because some of the products we make in our hyper-competitive states are different from what they do where they have limited license states. So yesterday, we were actually with a large MSO who told us that we sell high-grade shatter for, say, $6 a gram wholesale in Oregon. And he's saying that on a wholesale basis in one of his states, I don't know if it was Massachusetts.
It could have been Massachusetts, Illinois, but one of the limited license
states,
East Coast, Midwest
it's
states.
$30, and the quality isn't even that great. So there are higher margins in these limited license states, which gives room for us to actually take profit and start joint venturing and bringing our brands, but more so our technology, to those states.
Our SOPs and how to tweak things, like making live resin better, making like live resin cartridges or shatter better, and more efficient.
Right.
Sure.
So these are alternative revenue sources that you foresee in the future?
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, the stock has been under a lot of pressure lately,
Right.
and despite great liquidity, huge volumes, it continues to deteriorate in price. Do you have any insight on why that might be and how it might change?
Well, just over the last week or two, our final lockup has come off. So about 22 million shares entered the market. But of those, I would say about 8 to 10 million are with insiders. So we have now had a liquidity flush of those sales. And when that's happened in the past, we've seen a dip in the stock, but the stock has come back. But that's the last lockup. Everything now out there, with the exception of what the insiders hold, which is approximately 20% or 25%, somewhere between there, is now free trading. In addition to that, we had a lot of warrants as a result of our RTO and as a result of our convertible. Of the, I believe, 150 million warrants we have outstanding, I would say that the majority of them, the vast majority of them, I think even closer to 90 or even 100 million, are now listed on the exchange. So they trade themselves. So they are not causing any sort of overhang on the stock. So the stock is, in terms of positioning, as we get through this 10 million shares, I think the stock will consolidate and do well as we continue to perform.
Great.
Are you in touch with the shareholders often? Do you like to put a face to obviously the name and make sure that they're comfortable in terms of the future plans?
Right. Definitely. I would say that I mean, Katie's team handles IR, but I probably engage with shareholders maybe 3 to 4 times a day, no matter how large or how small. And then I'd say once a month, we have a shareholder, like we have one coming from Germany, I believe today, to go visit our facility in Cathedral City. And so we actually, if they're of age, we actually invite them in to come and tour our facilities. We had 2 shareholders, I think it was Tuesday, who wanted to see the farms come down in Oregon. So we invited them out to see the farms come down, and obviously put on the visitor badge. They can't touch the stuff or anything like that. But people, love to come to the facilities, and we invite them with open arms to even come and visit the facilities.
Great to hear.
All right. Well, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll come back to you soon.
All right.
Thanks.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
Twenty-one, 2 feet.